Hey guys, it's Justin Goodbray with Financially Simple. I hope you're doing well. Hey, so look, it is almost July. Actually, it's the first week of July here. You'll probably see this in about a week or so. But I wanted to give you a garden update. We've had a lot of progress. So kind of give you an update for the last little bit. We had a period of time where we just had nothing but rain, and we had some seed rot in the ground because it's just so wet. Then we went about a 3-week period without a drop of rain, and it was hot. And the garden felt the toll there. So then we've gone through now about 2 weeks of decent rain throughout the time, and man, whenever it hasn't been raining, it's been hot, 85, 90 degrees, which is what a summer garden really wants. And we now have some fruit to show you. All right, so here we are at the top side of the garden. I'm gonna kind of pan and let you see where we're at. You've been following this. So we're at the top side of the garden here, and if you remember, when we had the rain, I built this berm in here, and you can see right through here, the water has hit that berm, come around, and just washed right down the road, which is cool. But let me show you, the tomatoes are doing great. In fact, let's slide inside here. If you can see, we now are starting to have tomatoes turn red. So we'll start harvesting the tomatoes, and I'll come back and explain what we do there. And as we work our way down, that week that we had when we were at our kids' summer camp, we lost almost this entire row here of tomatoes right through here. They died. We got a couple of them that are okay down there, but this row for some reason just got too hot, and we lost the tomatoes. So that's what happens when you go out of town in the middle of growing season for 10 days in the middle of a heat storm. All the other tomatoes are doing fine. These right here kind of suffered a little bit, but now they're sprouting back up, and in a couple of weeks we'll have tomatoes there. On our squash and zucchini row, so we have squash and zucchini and a little bit of cantaloupe right through here, and we're now starting to get our first blooms in our produce. You can see it in there. So probably by the middle to the end of next week, we will have squash and zucchini, fresh squash and zucchini. As we go down to our pepper row, you can see our green peppers are coming in. So there's a green pepper there. And we have jalapenos and more green peppers and peppers galore all through this row here. And they're all doing just fine. Our okra, remember I sprayed last time you saw, these had dead leaves, dead grass in there. And so our okra is just now starting to get okra pods in there. The rain has sure helped us, and probably about another week we'll start seeing okra pop up. So our okra is doing well. Here is probably the next project we have is green beans. About a week away from picking these green bean row here. And if you remember, they should have gotten a little bit bigger, and in fact they're growing right now, but I wish the bushes would have got bigger than they are and filled in. But with the crazy weather we had at the beginning of growing season, this is about the best it's going to expect. But they are loaded. I mean, if you look inside here, here's one right here about ready to be picked already. And so there's beans like 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. There's probably 20 beans right there on that one plant. So that's pretty cool. Now, so you can see the first produce of the year, I just pushed these up again. We had a bad windstorm last night, but right there, my little boy Justice, he loves these gizmos here. If you don't know, that's a Boston pickle and cucumber. That's the perfect size to make pickles with. It's a perfect size. Let me show you the mess I've got. So if you'll remember, I started out, and I have beans all through here. Well, again, go out of town for a week and a half and weeds take over. But it's not in despair. If you will look here, for example, this plant right here is probably going to have 9 beans on it. And it's that way throughout this whole mess of weeds. So what it's going to do is 2 things. Number 1 is we're not going to have quite the yield as we should have on the beans, because it's competing with, the beans are competing with the weeds, which is why you get weeds out of the garden. So, but we have a ton of beans in here. I've kind of looked through this already, and in about another 2 weeks, we're gonna have a ton of beans there. So what I'll do is I'll go through there, and as I go picking beans, I will pull, more than likely, the bean plants out. Or as I go through there, I'll pick, and then I'll spray the whole thing down with Roundup. Like I said, this is a 2nd-year garden. We have weeds galore coming in, which is why I've been spraying a lot of Roundup. It'll take about 3 to 5 years to get the soil just right, where we're able to manage the weeds a little bit better. So that's a little insight on what I'm going to do there. Here's the lima beans. They're starting to come in pretty good. And here's butternut squash growing out of our sunflowers that are finally coming up. So if you're not familiar with butternut squash, it's really good. There's one. They run like a vine on the ground, and this will be all covered in vines here. That's the butternut squash. And look, corn. We'll see how it turns out. Now we're back up here by the tomato plants, and as I told you, I've got tomatoes already coming in behind me. And I think we have some 70 plants remaining right now. Like I said, we did lose a row. Not cool, but it's gardening. And if I didn't travel quite as much as I did, then I would be really probably distressed. But you know, we got a good God who takes care of us, and he feeds all the sparrows on the hill, right? So what we're gonna do is we're gonna start picking the tomatoes, let them get ripe. And as they get ripe, what we're gonna do is immediately freeze them. Why? Okay, because we don't eat tomatoes. Yeah. We like sauce. We like to make spaghetti sauce and chili and just tomato sauce out of it. So we'll freeze the tomatoes, and once we get a good, I'm gonna call it bucket full, maybe a bucket and a half full, we will then take and grind all the tomatoes through the tomato juicer at one time. And the juicer, what it does, it spits out the core pretty much. It takes all the seeds and the skin, just spits it out, and takes all the tomato juice and the pulp and drops it down to a harvesting container. And then we'll do that until we get enough to put it into the slow cooker and slow cook that tomato sauce, add our spices to it, whatever we're gonna make. Like for chili, we'll add some chili seasoning. For our spaghettis, we'll add, like, you know, mushrooms and bell peppers and onions and all those goodies, right? So whenever you have a big garden like this, many times the produce doesn't come in all at one time. So we have to deal with it. I do work for a living. I know some people don't think I do, but I do. It's been many hours. And my wife's full-time dealing with family. So we just can't spend every day out here at the garden. So this is our project. We play, but it's not a major priority. I know some of you watching this channel are like, dude, your garden sucks. I get that. I know some of you are like, man, I don't know how you have the time to do it. I don't understand either, but we enjoy it. We honestly haven't really done anything in the garden in about the last 2 weeks, as you probably can tell with the weeds and everything. But it is what it is, and it's coming into produce season, and we'll see how much fruit we get this year. But where you're gonna see, it's gonna rock. The way we did it, by putting in early the videos, the way we grew everything, you're gonna see the produce is gonna be nice, considering the amount of work. So, hey guys, that's it for this week on this garden update. Probably next week we're gonna be picking some more produce. I did get a couple of cucumbers today, and a couple of jalapenos are done. We've been pulling those off slowly, but it's coming into produce time. So for about the next 30 days, it's on. Game on. It's time to eat some groceries. Hey, y'all have a great day.